Hello, my name's Joshua, the founder and director of El Terreno. Great to have all of you here for another internship presentation. Today we have Sianna from France, who is going to be doing her final presentation on tourism, which is something that's always been something on my mind. And I tell you what, my mother keeps going on about how much we should be doing more tourism here. Um, and it's largely been down to the lack of skilled, competent people who've been able to take stuff forward. But we have Sienna here, who's just at the end of her 9 weeks here with us and very excited to share all that she's achieved. It feels very fortuitous, Sienna, that you arrived and all the work that you've done building up to the groups that we've got coming next week and the other people that we've been speaking to. I think that you're really leaving a legacy for the local families. So very excited to see what you've come up with in this final presentation. So I'm going to pass it straight over to you.
Okay, so let me just open it. Sorry. Oops. Can you see it all okay?
All good.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Over this presentation, I'll be taking you through my 12-week internship, a journey that combined my passion for travel and sustainable community impact. From researching tourism models across Ecuador to working hand in hand with families of Atandawa, this experience has reshaped my understanding of what tourism truly means. Before diving in, let me introduce myself. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Sianna, and I'm thrilled to be here as a tourism intern at El Chirino. Traveling has been a part of my life since I was born. So when I saw this opportunity in Ecuador, I thought, this is it. I have to jump. I have to seize it. So I'm a French student. It's my first year of tourism management within a bachelor program in Excedia, which is in France. It's my school in France. As part of our degree, we complete an internship abroad. And I chose El Trino because its values and community-driven mission deeply resonates with me. I'd never been able to go to South America before, and so as someone who doesn't speak Spanish, I was very nervous. But like from the first moment on, I was overwhelmed with how Ecuadorians were so welcoming and warm, and there's such a difference in between the welcoming that you'd have in France because people would are pretty opposite to Ecuadorians in France. So to talk about my motivations and my hopes, I chose this internship to combine two things, my academic studies with real world impact. My goals were to support Atendoa's families by creating sustainable income alternatives to migration and developing, and to also learn Ecuador's diverse tourism models for like from the Galapagos to the Amazon rainforest. And then challenge myself culturally and professionally in a complete new environment. And yes, I also hoped to taste all the amazing food and mission accomplished. So sorry. Okay, the button wasn't working. Okay, so here's what we'll cover today. It like follows my internship journey from start to finish. Um, First, the research phase. So, how studying tourism across Ecuador shaped my work here. And then what I saw in the Galapagos and the Amazon directly influenced, like it all directly influenced my approach to my projects here in Atandawa. Then we have the homestay project, which is the heart of my internship. For 9 weeks, I worked with families to prepare their homes for tourists and also for this new opportunity that has been basically developed, is still developing, um, where we are collaborating with, well, El Torino is collaborating with Eco Explorer to have more people come. And then, so we improved the standards of the houses, solved problems together with the families, with my mentors. Um, so both of my two mentors are Lennon and Juan. And we made some real changes, which I'm pretty proud to see now, like ensuring filtered water. And then after the proper guest spaces that just needed some small details or else some big details to be improved. Then we have the Salinas trip, a separate but valuable experience for me. So I organized this for our team. It taught me about real world logistics and how to handle unexpected challenges. Like we had a last minute, well, we had a few last minute cancellations. So that was nice to work, like learn to work with that, to overcome it, sorry. Finally, the big takeaways. I'll be talking about the big takeaways and what this all means for sustainable tourism and my future. The lessons I learned here will stay with me as long, like for a very long time. And this isn't just about what I did, it's about how research turns into action and how challenges become opportunities. Let's start with what I learned traveling in Ecuador. So, sorry. So, while traveling Ecuador before starting in Atanawa, I went to three different places globally. First, I went to the Galapagos, and the Galapagos showed me that there's quite a dark side to tourism, but an incredible wildlife. But just it was overwhelmed by the mass tourism there. Like I was seeing plastic waste next to nesting sites, and that showed me how unsustainable some practices are. And then after in the Amazon rainforest, I went to Cuyabino. And there I saw most of the tourism done right, because of course it's not all perfect. So where most local communities actually called the shots, which was quite incredible to see. They've like built this amazing balance between welcoming visitors and protecting their homes and nature. So that was really, really nice for me to see. I was um I was really happy, really, really happy. Then after we have like simple things like I saw them teaching tourists eco-friendly habits that make all the difference. For example, just bug spray, like mosquito repellent. People didn't know how to put it on without harming, possibly harming nature. Like for example, frogs, like any kind of animals, but not just animals, like anything any living being. And then after I went to Cotopaxi, which proved to be like how can I say this? So it proved that adventure tourism can thrive responsibly, and the operators there found the sweet spot between exciting experiences and environmental respect. These experiences became my guiding principles for Atandawa, learning from Ecuador's best while avoiding its worst. So now I will turn and go to more the homestay project, which was a big part of my internship. So for the internship project. Here you see two pictures. So there's Floor's homestay. Floor is a 80-year-old, and she has this wonderful house. I love it. I really like it. There's lots of colors, and I didn't take a picture of the garden, but she has flowers and plants all over, and it's just really nice to see the effort that she put into the house and how welcoming it is. Then after we've got Beatrice's house, where there it's a very they're very open, very warm. I stayed with them for 2 weeks. I love them. They're very kind people, and they have a very cute granddaughter too. Um, it was just really nice to see them every single day and be able to talk with them and be able to see the living conditions there and live it and everything. So that was really nice. So the heart of my internship within the homestay project was simple but powerful. It created, well, my goal was to create real income opportunities so families could have, like, didn't need to leave for work. But making all this work required balancing two essential perspectives. So for travelers, we needed to ensure safe, comfortable accommodations, authentic cultural experiences, but also clear communication despite possible language barriers. Then after for the families, we had to focus on fair compensation that actually improves their life, sorry, and minimal disruption to their daily routines, as well as preserving their way of life. This wasn't about imposing outside standards. It was also about finding that sweet spot where visitors can have an amazing experience with the families while the families benefit on their own terms, which was very important for me because I didn't want to have any negative, like I didn't want any negative impact on the families. And so every decision came with this balance. Um, so basically, how do we make like how do we improve these homestays? So we didn't start from zero. So my work, I basically didn't start from zero. These families already had welcoming homes, very welcoming homes. Our job was to elevate what was existing through strategic upgrades. Here's how we leveled up. So we have level one, which is basically the basics. And the families were pretty much up to date. There were just a few things per homestay that needed to be added or needed some improvement. So we enhanced what was already working. We reinforced the security. So everything to do with the electrical system, because for example, in the showers, the showers are heated with these electrical cables, but these electrical cables were not at all protected for the most part. So that's something that I saw straight away, and we had to work on this before anything else. And then after, we also upgraded the bedding and the guest amenities. So we basically have now thought, so it's basically Joshua's idea to make these kits where every single guest will have the same quality bedding, towels, and then also shampoo and soap and some small other things. One last point in the level one was also to add additional shelving because there were some places that needed some additional shelving. Then after
Just to,
for,
sorry to
sorry,
jump in a second. I'm
sorry.
still looking at the image of Flora and Beatrice's homes. Is that right?
Yes, yes, because I
Okay,
couldn't take good pictures of the inside, unfortunately.
no problem.
Yeah. So then after we have the level two, where here it's more it's a lot nicer. Like there's more furniture. It's not as basic as the level one. So we added what really makes a difference as nightstands, some tables and chairs. Then we added some lighting. So there were some lights to be added, either bedside lamps or else on the walls. And then I we did say to the families, okay, it would be good if there was a tiny little bit more decoration because we saw that they had specific things, but they weren't putting it out. So then after I went and I talked to them and I said, okay, this would look really nice in the room, and they agreed and they were like, okay, yes, we'll add it. So that was really nice too. Yeah. To see that they wanted to change these things and they were very nice to work with. And so then I'm still on the same slide. Um, so basically we went through four steps. So let me walk you through exactly how we transformed these homes and how my mentor Lennon, who helped me with the this homestay project, and I worked step by step. So first we conducted through assessments of each property. Sorry, we went like through everything. We did a thorough look inspection at everything, and I examined for my part I examined, sorry, the physical spaces, checking electrical wiring, furniture, other little details, documented everything, while my mentor was translating to English for me and to Spanish for the family, everything that we were talking about. And then I created detailed reports, checklists based on the information collected. So then came the upgrade phase, where you have to picture, for example, me in the bathroom, looking up at the cables in the shower, pointing them out at to my mentor and to the family, and asking my mentor to translate to the family and talk to them about this, that this has to change and how can we do this, so they can also do it. So every single improvement got this hands-on attention from us, either going through things or us trying to ensure the safety part of either room or whatever it was. Our final quality checks were exhaustive. We tested like every light switch, inspected every safety upgrade, like the cables, for example, in the rooms, because there were some cables dangling and weren't fixed on the walls, and that's something that can be a little dangerous. Then after we verified the pieces of furniture and didn't go through any shortcuts, just methodical verifications to ensure every home truly met our standards. So this two-person system worked because we complemented each other with my mentor. My focus on the physical details, and then after my mentor's ability to bridge the language barrier, like the language, and the cultural gaps too, and his experience that I did not have, that I don't have the same experience that he has because he has a lot more experience than I do. And then together we made sure every upgrade was done right. So that was very important for both of us, and we spent quite a lot of time touring the houses and doing this. So next, I'm going to talk about the Salinas trip. Okay, it worked. Sorry. So for this Salinas trip, let me tell you about basically this, how can I say this? This trip planning that really tested my planning skills. So basically it was a 2-day team trip, and it was completely separate from the homestay project, but it was just as valuable for me, like for my experience, to gain experience. So we stayed in this charming hostel, which is Lennon's Hostel. And it's a beautiful hostel. There are plants all over. It was just really, really beautiful. And there were really nice mountain views too. So I just really liked it. So for the itinerary, we did so I planned a perfect mix in between tours of behind the scenes of the local cheese factory, chocolate factory, essential oil factory, and the wool factory. And then we went on a like beautiful tour of the salt mines, which was very interesting too. And people went on a breathtaking hike to the upper part of the mountains in Salinas. So some went to the caves, and then after we just went on some um we went on a short walk that there was around. And then we had this amazing pizza from Salinas, this family-owned restaurant where they used the cheese from there. And oh my goodness, it was so good. I'm really missing that pizza and the cheese. But here's where it got real. So 3 people canceled last minute, which meant suddenly reorganizing the entire transportation budget. So I had to cancel for one community to come, so one pickup truck, sorry, to come. Then rearranging the rooms as well, because we had a certain number of rooms, and after we changed. So I learned more about crisis management in those 2 hours than any like in any classroom. So that was quite nice. Stressful, but quite nice. Um, this trip also provided tourism. So it proved, sorry, that tourism isn't just about nice hostels or nice food or nice views. It's about thinking fast, staying calm, making sure everyone has a great experience no matter what surprises come up. So that was basically for what I learned. And then we have my last slide. So just I'm gonna finish on this slide. We can see on this slide a picture of the group, and Hope is in this group. And Hope, yeah, Hope came with us, and that is it for everybody that's on the call. But we had a really nice time, and I'm very grateful to everybody that came and let me organize this trip. Really was very nice for me. So I'm gonna finish with a big thank you. So I need to thank the incredible El Torino team for this wonderful internship, including both of my mentors, so Juan and Lennon, and of course Joshua. And so Juan and I looked into the activity development of the Atandawa, but also Chimborazo and Salinas. So Chimborazo, as you see, is the picture that is on the side. It's a volcano, well, and it is a volcano. We basically I got sick a few times, and time just started to run out. So we just decided with Juan to not continue, but we still had cause to for me to learn things. So that was really nice. Unfortunately, we could not continue with the activity development project. And then I would also like to thank the families who opened their homes and taught me so much. It was really, really nice, even though there was this language barrier. Lots of times I could still understand and could still communicate, but thank you to the people that translated, of course, and I was very happy to have a translation app with me. Yeah. And then after, I'd also like to thank my parents, my grandmother, and my friends for all their support. It was really important for me. And when I say friends, I mean also like all the friends I made here in El Torino. It was just really nice to have such a nice, supportive team by my side. And also, I'd like to thank my school for giving me this big opportunity that is life-changing and that I will always remember and making it possible. So yeah, thank you to everyone. And I'd like to finish by saying that this internship gave me more than skills. It also gave me a second family and a new perspective. I understood like I there were lots of things that I wasn't aware of or that I didn't know exactly, or that just because I'm 19 years old, my knowledge isn't as developed as like somebody that's maybe 60 years old. So it was really nice to develop more knowledge and learn more about every all this area, the culture, and lots of different things. And so thank you all for being part of my journey, this journey. It's been very, very nice to have all of you. And yeah, thank you for listening to me too. Thank you.
Thank you, Sianna. Fantastic.
And I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Perfect. Yes, we'll move on to questions and answers. So if you've got a question, please raise your hand and then we'll invite you to open your microphone and your camera. While you're doing that, I've got a list of questions here. So you mentioned about the weeks that you spent here,
Mhm.
the weekends you spent traveling before
Mhm.
arriving here, um, which it's really interesting all the places that you went to. You got a really you kind of got what people would be people's bucket list if they're coming to
Mhm.
Ecuador, really. And as you said, a lot of them are already very formalized, and a lot of them are kind of more traditional in terms of tourism activities. What did you learn from those experiences that you could then apply for your work with the host families?
Um, so I learned, okay, I don't know how I could apply this completely, but basically for like the Galapagos, I was quite disappointed in the Galapagos because it was just mass tourism. You could see mass tourism every place. And so what I wanted to do for the homestay families was basically not to have this like when they saw tourists, not to be like, oh, here we go again, or like, oh, they're like in our garden, or oh, they're here, like we can't go to the beach because there's too many people. Oh, we can't like have a nice time at our house or our surroundings, like where we live because of tourists.
Hmm. Yeah, great. Thank you. And you mentioned about always trying to find this balance between the local culture and the people coming in.
Mhm.
Um, that's one of the biggest things that I've seen in terms of community tourism is that local people have got, they've got their certain standards and expectations, and they can often live in much more humble surroundings than what we're used to in more high-income countries. What were the easiest and most difficult things to encourage the families to change?
So I think the easiest was like probably everything to do with furniture, everything to do with like, for example, putting curtains in because there were a few homestays that were lacking curtains. And then after the hardest bit was the cables because they didn't understand. They were like, why do we need to do this? And so I had to explain, so through my mentor and also to people that were with me. Well, for us, like for example, Europeaners coming or American people coming and seeing these cables in the shower without any protection, you feel quite uncomfortable to go take a shower. So, yeah, that was the biggest challenge for me. Yeah. But then after they understood, like after a while. So that was good.
Mm. And it's really interesting because I've never heard anyone say I got electrocuted in the shower. So
Yeah.
from a local point of view, it's like, well, never heard of it, so it doesn't seem necessary. But again, from a Westerner's point of view, because we've usually got boilers, or if it's electric shower, it's all contained in the same unit, and you don't see cables. Yeah, it's really interesting that difference. Okay,
It
I
is.
believe Amanda's got a question. Over to you.
So, thank you very much for your presentation. It was interesting and very informative, Sianna. I'm just wondering, you've started, or everyone there has started this. Where do you think it could go? What else still needs to do? You're leaving, so what would you recommend for the future?
Um, I would definitely recommend so we have an opportunity that is developing, I think, with a platform, right, Joshua? Or no, it isn't developing, it's like just something that might happen.
So there's a few things that have come after Sienna arrived, which are very fortuitous. Well, first of all, the thing that we were planning for is that on this weekend we've got 8 nursing students who are going to come for 1 week from the United States, and
Oh,
they specifically requested to stay in family homestays. So I was like,
wow.
this is a great opportunity that
Mm,
Sienna's coming, and we want to leave a really great impression for this university because if we do, they'll be coming back every year, which is obviously more income for the local families. And so that was kind of like the real driving force and motivation behind this. So that's the first one. But then also, we've got a startup which are looking to create a community tourism platform, of which they'd like to use us as one of their pilot organizations.
oh,
So it,
wow.
so it would be imagine Airbnb, but specifically for community tourism. And they are actually going to come. This group leaves at the end of next week. And then the Tuesday afterwards, these guys are going to come arrive. They're going to come and take photos and videos of the activities and the
Wow.
family homestays. So
Okay.
the fact that Sienna's improved the quality of these houses is a really great benefit, and can have some direct impact. And then we've got one of our ex-volunteers who's also a tour guide here in Ecuador, and he's also asking us. I'm starting to work with kind of like families or couples or stuff like that, and doing more kind of individual tours around Ecuador. The ones who are looking for more authentic experiences. Can you give us a list? And that's going to be Sienna's last piece of work before she leaves, is to help write all of that up. So it feels just like really great timing, that
Mhm.
Sienna's done all of this work, because it's a lot of work
Mm,
without, there's always a balance for the how much Sienna requests from the families, because there is no guarantee
mhm,
of them making a return on their investment in the the short term. I mean, we always have interns and stuff like that coming, but if a lot of this work could end up costing a larger amount of money, and so that's why we've done it in stages. And each stage that they achieve, they can feel like, okay, I'm going to get more of a benefit as a result. But yeah, there's definitely some opportunities coming our way, and much more work to do. So if you're an intern watching this, please come along and help us
mm.
take them to the next level.
And what about, I didn't hear anything about the cultural side of the tourism. So introducing people to the Ecuadorian culture and how these host families, because that's where you would get this, where most people don't have this experience when they're travelers. So was this touched upon at all about how they can bring their amazing culture to the tourists?
Yes, so basically that was our Juan's and I our activity development project.
Mm-hmm.
Which because I was sick and it just time was running out, we couldn't finish and we couldn't yeah, just couldn't see a day with me because I'm gonna be leaving soon. So probably with somebody else it will. But with so as Joshua was just saying, with this other mentor that is coming, Wilson, well not coming, but we're working with. I've got this sheet of paper I've got questions and I need to answer them. And basically, tourists will be coming in and there will be activities proposed to them if I understood well. Was that right, Joshua?
That's correct. So there's already lots of really interesting projects. Flora and Wilma, they've got a water mill where you can take barley and make flour and then turn that into a traditional drink. There's a stunning sunset here above the clouds. There's the opportunity to milk cows, harvest with local farmers. There's lots of different activities to develop. And as Sienna said, she got ill. And just unexpected things happen being here in Ecuador. You can plan a straight line, but it very rarely goes in that direction. So I think it was the right decision for Sienna and Juan to go, let's focus our energy and make sure that these family homestays get the attention that they deserve. And now we've got some solid bases for tourists to stay. The next step is to help develop the activities themselves. Great. Okay. Next question for me, and then I'd love to hear from Juan because Juan's on the call, one of your mentors. It'd be great to get maybe some feedback on what you saw from Sienna during her internship. So before we go there, Sienna, what is the future training that you think the families need to continue? And actually, I'm not sure we talked about the training itself related to the health and safety and the cooking and all of that sort of stuff as well. Maybe you can just touch on that briefly. And anything else that you think, what's the next step in taking these families to the next level?
Mhm. Sorry, I did forget to put that in my presentation. So basically with the homestays, I also help to coordinate English classes for them to have. So they had English classes for I think a month, approximately. That was really nice. And so when I go and see them, like they speak a little bit of English, so that's quite nice to see. And then the homestay families are going through training such as emergency, like what do you do if you have an emergency? What do you do if somebody like needs like somebody cut themselves and needs like first aid? And then after cooking, like so health and safety issues regarding food. Like, for example, you can't use the water, like issues with the water, issues with other stuff. Simply, yeah. Um, so we did that. Sorry, I
Mhm.
don't know your question.
So yeah, no, that's great. And there's all of these little details. For example, if you have someone who's vegetarian, a lot of local people don't even know what a vegetarian is. And
Mhm.
if you say they don't eat meat, in Spanish you'd say no comen carne. But that often colloquially means they don't eat red meat. And so they'll ask questions. So you say they can't eat meat, and they'll go, oh, but they can eat fish and chicken. And so they're like these little details that we need to continue training up the local families. They do often cook with us, so we've helped get them to that level. But we've got someone who's coming who's got celiac disease, for example. We've got a couple of pregnant people who are also going to be, they're got special diets. So these are the sorts of training that really is a new world. And we also brought the director of Eco Explorer, who's bringing the group to give a kind of cultural presentation as well to the local family. So these are all the little details that are long-term investments for these families. And the English classes is a great example because, we had quite a few of the participants, they were, between 16 and 18 years old. One of them was 11, and that's helping them in their schoolwork and their whole professional development, and their career direction. And actually, those English classes were so well attended and well received, we've decided that from September, we're going to be offering regular English classes to them and also to our internal team. Most of our team does speak English, but there's a few new members that we've got on which we want to develop their skills as well. So again, these are the kinds of details and legacy that Sianna, your project, is leaving. So Juan, are you with us? Are you able to open your camera and your mic and share anything from this experience?
Thank you very much, Joshua. So, just to say thank you to Shanna. We know of the reality about the that we pass in El Terreno, but the idea of that project is to have like a line about what is the reality right now about the community, especially with when we're talking about tourism, we have different kind of definitions about it. So the idea with Shanna is to analyze what is the difference between the massive tourism and with the more kind of rural tourism that we want. So especially to combine this more sustainable way to make the things. And also to try to apply it all of the strategies because the idea is to have a sustainable community. Because if we apply it in a very good way, the develop like with tourism, it's possible. But the idea is to focus it in one big goal for the local community. So with these steps, with these activities to making the map about the resources, about the tourist attractions that we could have, about the activities, about different kind of things, is very nice to check out what is the point that we could begin with at Andawa right now. Because we know what is the potential with the community. The community have very nice views. The local families are really amazing, but of course, we could found different kind of things that we could improve much better. One of them, of course, could be the language. Another one is about we have to combine the things about the with cooking classes, for example, to check it what is the ancestral way to make all of these kind of things. So really, Atandawa have a very nice potential, and Shanna make it a very nice research it with the people of the community, and also with the mentorings on the field.
Thank you, Juan, for your contributions. So one final question before we finish the call, Sianna. Who do you think this internship, if someone wants to come and continue, who do you think it's best suited for, and what tips or recommendations would you give them?
So I think for the next part, to continue developing this project, it would be really interesting to have somebody that's either maybe in their third year of tourism or second year or maybe in their master's. So then after they already know more and they are able to basically upscale and develop even more this project. Just because right now I find that everything that's needed to be done, like possibly in the future, is more of a like for an experienced person, like more experience than me.
Great. So that means you'll have to come back next year when you've got more experience. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So once again, I mean, I think throughout this call, we've highlighted all that you've managed to achieve in a relatively short amount of time. It seems like you've also really developed yourself and you've got to have some great experiences. You've got to come to South America, and I'm sure fallen in love with the culture and the people. So Fantastic to have you here. As I say, I think that really tourism with what we're doing is one of the avenues that we're going to be moving into more. So the work that you've done has been really important. So I sincerely want to thank you so much for all of that hard work. And, you know, you've got another training tonight to go through water safety and stuff like that with the families, one final home visit, and a couple of bits to tie things off. But great work, great achievement. Thank you very much. So.
Thank you.
If anyone else is watching this who's interested to carry on with Sianna's work, you can visit our website and arrange a free discovery call with myself to find out a little bit more what your internship would look like. You can go to www.elterrenoecuador.com and look for the internship page. Thank you so much for everyone who's joined us today. Great to have you on the call. And from 1, 2, 3 continents, I believe, are all on this call today. Great to have you all here. Until next time, hasta luego.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.